The girl in this footage is 24-year-old Jackie Vandagriff, and she is completely oblivious of the fact that later, this very conversation will cost her life. The next morning, she was found dead near a lakeside, with her body half burnt and brutally dismembered. It was gruesome and barbaric sight that was previously unheard of, leaving the whole of Grapevine, Texas shaken to its core. After some basic investigation, officers discovered that she was last seen with a man named Charles Bryant in a public bar near Texas University. Charles Dean Bryant was a fitness trainer from Hazlet, Texas. He was a regular face at local pubs and fitness centers, and was also familiar to the Texas police as well. The police had already arrested him twice for stalking and disturbing his ex-girlfriend, Caitlin, for which he was on their radar for quite some time.
I think that he really wanted to kill me. I think that he wanted me dead.
I mean, there's something called repression, where basically you're seeing someone in someone else's body.
However, during the interrogation, detectives finally discovered his horrific motivation behind Jackie's murder. This discovery was one of those that would haunt everyone who witnessed this case. It all started on September 14th, 2016. The Grapevine Police Department received multiple phone calls from the Acorn Woods Park in Texas about a fire breakout. When law enforcement and the firefighter unit arrived, they made a horrifying discovery. There were burned remnants of a plastic kiddie pool and a dismembered body with just a few pieces of clothing. The dead body was completely unrecognizable since the head had been removed, the arms had been severed at the elbows, and the legs had been severed around the knee. The harrowing sight was made even more grotesque due to the internal organs of the mangled corpse being exposed. After seizing the crime scene, the officer began with the investigation. The forensics team discovered that the victim had one hand relatively unburned, as everyone noticed the nail polish on it. Later, they recovered a fingerprint from it and verified the victim's identity. The print was analyzed, and it was found that it was of Jacqueline Ray Vandagriff. To begin finding more about the history of the victim, detectives went to Jackie's apartment to collect some evidence. When police tried to find her recent contacts, they found a girl named Sherry Bowe. After reaching out, she gave critical information that steered the detectives in the right direction in this case. She informed them that she went out with a group, and there she met Jackie on September 13th at a local bar named Fry Street Public House. When Sherry entered the bar, Jackie was already sitting with a bald man with a rather large build. Sherry also added that Jackie was talking to the man quite a bit, and the man introduced himself as Charles Bryant. Later, detectives went to that bar to interrogate the bartender, Caddy Allen. Caddy told them that she had known that man for a while now, and that he was going through some issues regarding his relationship. With the CCTV footage and his name on the record, detectives didn't take long to arrest Charles, who had a prior criminal history of stalking his ex-girlfriend, Caitlin Martis. Caitlin met Charles at a restaurant where she was working as a server just after graduating high school.
The day that I met him was the day after I graduated high school. He had lots of muscles and tattoos, which kind of interested me at the time.
At 29, when he first met Caitlin, Charles was significantly older than her and never appeared to be the right match. Caitlin's mother, Karen Halsey, had noticed the red flags early on and warned her daughter well before any trouble surfaced.
I got this feeling just deep inside to my bones, an evil feeling. And I said, he's gonna hurt you. He's gonna do something bad. And she's like, oh, he's nice, he's good to me, he makes me feel like an adult.
A mother's instinct is rarely wrong. Caitlin's confidence in her own choice soon changed when she began noticing unsettling signs in Charles, leaving her feeling increasingly uneasy.
He was manipulative, he was a bit of a narcissist. He thought very highly of himself. He would say things like, oh, you'll never find anyone better than me. It was toxic, and he was toxic.
Charles' obsessive nature and his interaction with Jackie that was recorded that night was not fitting well, and that led detectives to dig deeper. After what they found out, it didn't take them long to reach the truth. Watch how he reacts when detectives confront him with all the incriminating evidence piled up against him.
And I keep hearing you say you don't know what's going on. You don't remember. You don't this. You don't that. Come on, man. We've laid it out for you. Okay.
Yeah, it's there. End up in Grapevine. I remember that.
We're over there at your house. Okay. We have video of you with this girl.
Showed me.
You're at the bar. Her cell phone goes to your house. You're walking around Walmart at 4 o'clock in the morning buying a shovel.
And call service.
She's found dead in a pool that came from your backyard. Okay?
Yeah.
You can't tell me you can't tell me you don't remember.
I don't know why.
Come on, man.
Well, I'm giving you
You were
that.
there.
Obviously.
You did all these things, and there is no way in the world that a
I can't
man
recall
could
killing
travel all the way from Hazlitt to Grapevine, from Denton to Hazlitt to Grapevine, and not remember. Stand up and man up and
Dude,
tell us what you did for this girl's family.
I'm admitting to it. I can't remember killing anyone, man.
You've
know how
got
I could kill
to.
someone.
There's no way you remember all the big things in your life. Okay? Very few are bigger than taking another human life.
Yeah, it's pretty drastic.
I know it's in there. Okay?
Yeah, apparently.
I know you got it in you.
I don't know how.
Talk to me.
I'm trying.
Tell me.
The past hour and a half, I've been racking my brain.
There's no way, man. There's no way in the world that you do not remember this. There's no way.
Woke up. I don't even remember taking her home. I thought I was home.
She went to
earlier.
your house.
Yeah, I don't remember taking her to my place, man. I don't. I thought I went home by myself.
And you killed her. You killed her. And then you didn't just leave her there, you drove her to Grapevine. Tell me you don't remember that. Putting her in the car. Come on.
In the initial stage of the investigation, it was clear that he has no guilt for what he may have done. Despite relentless pressure from detectives, he stood firm, clinging to his claim of not remembering anything related to the murder of Jackie.
You were at the bar with her in Denton. Y'all drove to your house. You killed her. You drove her to Grapevine. And you don't remember any of that?
I just remember waking up hungover. I don't know how I could kill someone, man. I don't. It's like it's not me. But obviously it is me. It's like I just...
Out of all those things that I've told you there, how is that possible that you don't remember?
I don't think I was that drunk. I really don't.
It's
I know I
not
was
about
drinking.
being drunk, Charles. The people kill people when they're drunk because they drive down the road and they hit them, okay? They don't murder them and then take them to another place. Look at me, man. They don't. I've been doing this for 25 years, okay? I've heard a lot of blackout stories. I've seen a lot of blackout stories. This is not a blackout story. And the fact that you can't look me in the eyes,
I don't remember, man. I don't.
it's down in there. And it's weighing on you. It's dragging you
this
down.
entire thing is.
I know. And you would at least feel better
Telling you something I don't know.
telling me the
You
truth.
feel better.
'cause
I don't know, man.
You do know, Charles. There's no way you could not know.
Detectives didn't waste much time to call out his lame excuses and baseless story, as the evidence was incriminating enough to charge him. At this point, all they needed was a confession, but unfortunately, their approach of confrontation wasn't working. To get the confession, it was important they had the right approach from detectives who are specialized to break people like Charles.
So, I'm kind of egocentric, so let me talk about me. Is that all right? If you don't mind.
You seem like a cool guy.
Do what?
You seem like a cool guy, so I'm all ears.
Well, I guess I try. Maybe I don't try. Maybe it just happens. I don't know. And the nice thing about my job is when I get an assignment, everyone kind of bends over for me. So if I need something from the lab, let's say another ranger
is trying to get something run to the lab, and they say, hey, it's going to be a month. Well, I can call up and say, hey, I need that. And man, I mean, I got people popping out of bed and everything like that. And that's a good thing about, working directly for the governor. The bad thing is you get phone calls all the time, and you're getting flown all over the place, and he expects results. So of us 8 USIT guys, I'm the senior one. So I get all the big fun phone calls, but it's an interesting gig. I'm never bored or anything like that.
Through investigation, detectives already knew that Charles was egocentric and had a narcissistic personality. Here, Detective Jim Holland used these aspects of his behavior and mirrored them so that Charles could involuntarily open up more, which he eventually did.
Tell me what's going on today. Why are you wearing the Village People outfit?
Right. Tuesday, it's like...
They didn't have anything else for you to wear?
That's it. I was wearing my shorts and I'm like, oh, I gotta change in this, but I don't mind. Yeah, it's crazy because I really don't remember meeting this girl. It's like, I met her at a public house and...
A public house?
Yeah, it's a bar in Denton.
Oh, okay.
And it's like we left there and I thought we kind of parted ways, but we were at another bar drinking and I doubt that apparently she was with me. We came back to my place and I don't remember driving home with her, which is insane. But yeah, because I got a text like the following day, because like really I just found out yesterday. It's like oh, you're our lead suspect and she's dead. I'm like, that's insane. But one of my clients, she texted me. She's like, oh yeah, there's a body found in it's like Grapevine Lake area, and just like we were close to that area. I'm like, fucking insane. And I was like, oh, let's just train somewhere else the following day because we're supposed to train on Friday morning. But yeah, turns out it was me, and it's just nuts. Like I don't even know this girl. It's like I don't remember her name, and it's blown my mind because it's so out of character for me. It's like I'm not an angry guy. I'm not aggressive. It's I don't know. I've been trying to think over it last night, and I just don't remember leaving with her. It's like because all I remember is like this tiny little thing. I commented on that because I went and saw my friend Katie, and she's a bartender, and we were drinking there, and I've been there pretty much all day just because I was going through some crap with my ex, and called a lawyer, blah 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 blah, and I just went to go drink with Katie, but I don't think I was that drunk. I remember going home. I thought I went home alone, but I didn't. But I'm taking it's like all evidence is on me. It's like I'm just I can't remember doing it, but it's me. It's totally me. There's no doubt about it. But I just want to go forward with it. I don't know where I'm gonna go. It's,
Right.
It's jail. I'm fine with that. And, one of the detectives yesterday was saying that Texas has a death penalty. I'm like, all right, great. I'm gonna die in jail, but I can't fight it. It's obviously me. I can't remember doing anything because they're giving me time frames, and I was like, I woke up at like 9. I just felt like really groggy and tired. I thought I was just hungover, but yeah, they're like, you're here, here, and here. I'm like, how the f***? But
Although Charles played a very significant card here by accepting the allegation made against him and claiming that he's willing to go forward without much resistance, he was still denying to have a single memory that relates him to the murder. Psychotic blackouts do take place in many cases, but with an expert in the interrogation room, it's quite enticing to see how he breaks down the narrative that Charles was trying so hard to create.
Have you ever met this chick before?
never know it.
Can you remember what she looks like?
Tiny little blonde girl.
Yeah. Did they show you a picture yesterday, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember commenting at public house. I was like, oh, you're really tiny. Because she was sitting down, and she stood up because, I don't know, we were just drinking. I was like, oh, you're little. I remember that. We kept drinking. We all leave around like 9 something because Katie had to leave. I just got split because I thought I went over to another bar.
You did. You went to a second bar.
Yeah, not that one. It's like, I thought I went to that one, and there's a guy in there. He's a bartender.
Yeah, the bartender in there said you were in there chatting the chick up.
Yeah, they showed me pictures yesterday, and they were at the same time. And then I gave a girl my card. I don't know why we leave together. Or why when I kill someone. I don't. I don't know how that would escalate. And so there's a zip tie. It had her hair on it.
Well, you know what gets you. Well, so this is the swimming pool that's missing from your backyard, right? It didn't burn up all the way, and the edges curled over. So your DNA's, I mean, all over it. Fingerprints, DNA, and everything in the backside of the body, same thing. I mean, there's DNA on it. The other side of the swimming pool, there's DNA, there's fingerprints, there's dog hair that's going to end up matching, I think, your dog's. And you know, you got the knife with, that test isn't back yet, but the knife that's in your closet is going to come back with her blood on it. And the reason that they found out right away is it wasn't burned up all the way, so they were able to get fingerprints. It's called AFIS, Automatic Fingerprinting Information System. So they can, basically the morgue rolls her fingerprints because they're not off there, and then that's how we identify her so fast. And underneath her nails, she's got some skin. It's going to come back, we believe, to you. They just got their stuff, your DNA, yesterday, and then I started.
Yeah, the swap and everything.
Yeah. I started pushing that. It was going to be 30 days, and I started pushing that last night. So the stuff starts coming back, and that's some of those texts. I asked them to update me as we go through, so I know definitive things. I can already tell you what's going to be there, but the swimming pool, your DNA on her body, or what's going to end up being your dog's hairs in the pool on her clothes. I mean, but your roommate's got you out there at 4 a.m. digging a hole in the backyard. Let's see if I got a picture of the swimming pool where you dug a hole. But you're digging a hole basically where that swimming pool was, and he said you're putting in a kiki pond. You remember that conversation with him?
Koi pond.
Koi pond, yeah. You remember telling him that you were putting in a koi pond at 4 a.m.?
God, about a koi pond, that's crazy. I remember digging a hole. It's like I saw the shovel next morning, and like
your DNA's all over it. One of them had they found a partial or a full fingerprint. See, as I'm getting these back, these are all my tests coming in. DNA positive.
Evidence-based interrogations are highly effective. Suspects or perpetrators rarely have a defense against the solid evidence detectives present. Detective Holland didn't have to work hard to unmask Charles. His silence was precisely the reaction they expected. However, at this stage, the conversation wasn't just about proving his guilt. It was about uncovering the motive. It was evident that Charles didn't know Jackie before that night, nor did Jackie know him. The sheer brutality of the murder, combined with his attempt to get away with it, didn't quite add up. So the detective played his strongest card, and it, to a certain extent, did the trick. Charles looked very uncomfortable and anxious every time Detective Holland mentioned his ex-girlfriend and his arrest for stalking her. This discomfort reflected a deep-rooted repressed emotion he was having, but was actively choosing to deny.
You ever broke up with a girl? Well, let me ask you this, you ever been stalked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the girl Becca was actually going to go meet, actually it's pretty stalkerish, but...
Okay, and how does that happen? Is that from a girl that broke up with you? Does she turn around and stalk you?
Not so much. You usually part ways with him.
Right. So who stalks you? It's the girl that you kicked to the curb, right? Why? Because they can't take rejection. All right?
I don't even know how I'd kill someone. Let alone chop them up and burn them. Hitting a shovel at 4 a.m.
Well, some of that, so, again, we talk about the psychosis where you slip into someone else. We don't need to concentrate so much on cutting up bodies and lighting things on fire, all right? Because that's the part where you're in the military, right? You're in mission mode. You're in survival mode. Bad happened, now you need to suck it up and get through it, all right? And that's just SOP of your mindset. I mean, you're a guy who goes in the gym who's supposed to do 10 reps, and instead you do 12 or 15, right? You're going beyond and above, but you're one who finishes a workout. You get done with things. You got a cramp, you're thirsty, you're hungover, you're going to tough it out and get through it. And this is one of those deals where shit goes bad, and now you're mission oriented. Now I got to get past that. That's the, I call it A to G, right? Which is meeting her and things happening, and then you have this middle zone, this G, where shit goes bad, all right? And then you have this, J through Z, or whatever you want to call it. Probably don't know my alphabet good enough. Pretty good. But you've got that, which is this after action report, which is, you go nuts and now you need to get rid of things. I'm not so worried about that. I mean, that's explained by, someone who freaks out. That's obviously not your nature. That's easy to deal with. What I'm concerned about is that what's the red button issue?
I don't know.
What sends this south?
I've never wanted to kill anyone. Actually, it's like Caitlin crossed me like crazy. It's like I've never acted on anything like that. It's like,
well, and you say something that's interesting. What's the chance that you have this chick and you're so drunk that you start picturing Caitlin's crazy? I mean, there's something called repression. Where basically you're seeing someone in someone else's body. Do you see, all right, forget about this girl who's dead a couple nights ago, do you see Caitlin with you? Is there a chance that you...
resemble each other.
No. Well, that doesn't make a difference physically. It's what's your mental mindset. How screwed up are you from Caitlin, man?
Sensing his unease, Detective Holland proposed a possible motive. Charles' reaction confirmed that Holland's assumption had hit its mark. It was his obsession with Caitlin that consumed him, leading him to mistake Jackie for her while he was drunk. And when he realized what he had done, he treated the young woman as though she were nothing more than a disposable object, something he could simply destroy, burn, and bury to wipe away his guilt. It was most likely that Charles had the intention to kill Caitlin, but instead killed Jackie. According to Detective Holland, he might have felt that there were certain similarities between the two. It was chilling to realize that they were able to prevent another murder. The detective finds another clue when they check Charles' internet search history: how to remove a person's heart, how much formaldehyde it takes to preserve a heart, how to make a clear resin to make an art piece. It became disturbingly clear that Jackie's heart had been removed before Charles set her body on fire. Even more chilling was the revelation that he had researched these acts long before he ever crossed paths with Jackie.
it said zip ties. And then zip tie with hair on it. In the pool, so.
I mean, obviously the pool comes back from your house.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of the blood and everything else, she's been in your vehicle. You got the bloodied up K-bar knife, in your closet.
Later in the interrogation, Charles comes up with every detail of how he met this girl and why she went to his house. In the end, he finally does admit to the crime by saying it was an accident. As lame as it may sound, according to Charles, they were having kinky sex, and during that, she was choked by a zip tie. At that point, he panicked and planned to bury her, which was why he went to Walmart in the morning to buy a shovel. During the trial, the jury clearly rejected that theory because there was no such evidence of such a sexual encounter. Instead, they were convinced that Charles was planning to murder Caitlin. During an interview, Caitlin revealed her version of events, which provided clarity and helped things fit into place.
How he was stalking me was completely related to Jackie Vandagriff's death. I looked up Jackie Vandagriff and I realized, oh my God, I'm already friends with her.
What initially seemed like a psychological breakdown and a tragic accident unraveled into a grim irony, a meticulously crafted act by a man devoid of empathy, who was cold and calculating to the core. And once again, Detective Holland also confronted Charles about his personality and state of mind, which turned out to be not so comfortable.
Psychopath would be someone who's basically born with a scar on their brain.
Finally, on April 16, 2018, after only 3 hours of deliberation, Charles Bryant was charged with first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison for this horrific act, also adding 20 years for tampering with evidence. He was also found guilty of a Class 3 felony for having explicit content of underage individuals on his computer. It was unmistakably clear that he was evolving into something truly monstrous. These stories frequently show us that any form of emotional abuse and manipulation can be alarming in a relationship, and that even minor issues can be devastating in the future. What are your thoughts? Do let us know in the comments section below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such interesting cases.